ooh, Tiffany, like, she said something and whatever. Nothing gets past Jay-Z and Mrs. Carter without express permission. And so know that this story is coming out because it's supposed to come out the way it's coming out. It will be, another week or two before Beyonce does Coachella. So I'm really looking forward to that performance. I'm not going because I'm too old for that shit. All right. So last but not least, in all the unpacking that we're here doing at this table, can we talk about Fab, you guys? Now, I don't want to talk about this with hilarity because I think that domestic violence is not funny. I don't think that violence on any level is funny. But I particularly am cautious about this story because I feel like there is more than what quote unquote facts we have, and also more than what even the video that surfaced Saturday morning from TMZ is showing. Now, let me say this. I am very shocked that there is a domestication situation of actual physical violence involving Fabulous, because I don't know him. You know what I mean? I don't know him. You know, very, very few of us actually know him. You know, we're not friends with this nigga, you know? So we don't know this guy. We don't know what he's capable of. And, you know, the danger in sometimes disassociating yourself with the possibilities. I mean, I know that we all would like to think of ourselves as there is no possibility that I would ever be caught in a situation like that. The problem with that kind of egocentric thinking of that could never be me is that if it is you, what do you do? If you can never think of yourself in the situation of I am capable of doing anything, then when it comes to that time, you will do anything. So so the video surfaces Saturday morning. Now, this goes back all the way into March, I believe, sometime early March, where Fab somehow encountered his mother of two. I believe they have like an 8-year-old together and also a 2-year-old. And then Emily has a daughter from a previous relationship who just turned 21. Now, Emily was featured on Love and Hip Hop New York at some point, and this was in the early stages of her relationship with Fab. And I think that there was a lot of confusion, as there often is in relationships, about fidelity and communication and what have you. So I know that there was that level of exchange between them, but okay, so long story short, Fab encounters Emily in LA. This pisses him off. I don't know. I don't really have any further details. If there is details, talk amongst yourselves. But my understanding is that he was very upset because he encountered Emily in LA and she was not supposed to be there. And this led to some verbal exchange via text message. Upon Emily getting back to New York, she asked her dad and her brother to come over and remove some guns from the house because Fab had already made some disparaging threats to Emily about killing her and beating her and what have you. So her brother and her father come. They do that. They remove the guns. Fab comes in, which now fast forward to the video that surfaced Saturday morning from TMZ, which you have to also wonder, someone took that video. Who did? Now, I would wonder, don't mind me, I'm just, having some brownies, but I would assume that it was either Emily's daughter, or someone from their entourage, whatever. At any rate, so in the video, you see Emily's father being held back. You also see Fab being held back by what appears to be security. Emily is at one point seen running from Fab as he is not necessarily violently charging towards her, but he's definitely coming towards her in a threatening position. And you could tell that she braces her body for the impact, which is alarming to me because that says to me that that's not the first time that she has been in that situation with him. Now, because the black internet is what it is, I've seen all the memes, the Freaky Friday Chris Brown meme, the fucking Ike Turner wig meme that our friend, our pettiest of petty uncles, 50 Cent, posted. So I've definitely seen all of those, and I'm really just shocked that this is happening, and I'm saddened that this is playing out the way that it is, because I feel like there are children involved. And anytime that there are children involved in situations like this, I think it's very difficult. I think it's also very easy for us from the outside to kind of look at the situation and say what we would do and what's acceptable and what's not acceptable in any given situation. But I also know that unless you are in a particular situation, it's really easy just to continuously talk about what you would and would not do. So in all seriousness, I do want to keep prayers up for Emily and for Fab and for their kids and their family, because this is disgusting, to say the least. And if all of those threats are true, I hope that he gets the help that he needs, and I hope that she gets the help that she needs as well. So, all right. I know that was a Debbie Downer moment, but shit happens, y'all, and it could be one of us. So, I think that the crazy part about seeing these celebrities' relationships kind of manifest the way that they do right in front of our eyes is that I know that there's a bit of dissociation that is there. We only want to associate our lives with the stuff that we see that's positive. So if they have like amazing cars and houses, we too want to be in that situation. We too want to post up and pretend like, oh, we could have that life too. But the reality is the sick shit that happens in our lives, the sick shit that happens in their lives, those are actually the things that we actually have more in common, if that makes sense. So it isn't the opulence of the way that they live. It is the shit that happens to them that happens to all of us. The domestication, I mean, it's happened. I've never personally been physically assaulted by a man before. However, I feel like definitely gotten into, some pushing and some aggressiveness. And I think that we all have to check ourselves in terms of even how we choose to handle problems of adversity or miscommunication or bad communication or whatever the case is. I think that we definitely have to see ourselves being able to be in those situations and say, hey, what would I do? Hopefully I would be better. Hopefully I would be better. And if I can't, then Lord, give me the strength to at least be discerning enough to make better decisions next time. Because I'm human. Speaking of humans, so, all right. Can we just pull up to the table? Because your girl, listen. For all of you who are in relationships, committed relationships, you're married, whatever the case is, shout out to you. Poo-poo on you. Congratulations. God be with you. Let me just say this, all right? I've always thought that I was ready. You know what I mean? I always thought that I was set ready. Like, I'm the type of bitch that I was like, hello, I'm a catch. See me, see my fibromyalgia, bitch, because I'm out here being a catch, honey, okay? But being in a relationship, I realize, is number one, it is literally having the same fucking argument over and over and over again. Literally. I find that the things that, and it's different situations, but the argument is always the same. Like, I feel like I feel like in a lot of cases, the crazy thing about relationships for me, or at least the current one that I'm in, is how much God uses this person to show me who I am, and not just in the good ways, but also in the bad ways. And I feel like that's most relationships that people have, whether they be amorous or platonic or whatever, familial, whether or not you care to admit it to yourself. A lot of times people are showing you who you are in a relationship, you know? And I always think of myself as this, like, I'm the best person to be in a relationship with because I'm really communicative and I am empathetic, but I know how to love from the standpoint that I know how to love from. And I also had different ideas of what ready meant. For a long time, I thought ready meant like I had a great job, I had a decent amount of money, I could do for myself. I dress really well. I present very well. I speak very well. I'm educated. I come from a decent family. I don't have any history of like, of like abuse or anything. I don't know. I guess I always just thought that, like, I had this IBM list, this IBW, this ideal black woman list of all of the things that I would need to accomplish in order for me to be a catch. And I guess I never thought about maybe wondering to myself, I wonder if what the person that I'm going to be with, what do they value? What do they see as a catch? Because as I'm preparing myself for the standpoint of what I want to see reflected back to me. But I'm also not taking into account that that person probably needs to do the same. And what I consider to be the height, the apex of, being a person that's ready may not be what this person who I'm in relation with. That might not be what they're at need for. If I'm supposed to be meeting them at their need of love at that particular point in time, that might not be what they want. What I'm pushing may not be the product that they're out here looking for, And so, yeah, I think that because of that, I have been learning a lot about myself. A relationship is really just a series of compromises. And sometimes you will compromise with the person, meet in the middle. And sometimes you're going to have to compromise with yourself. Now, I think that there's a difference between compromising yourself and making a compromise. I think that one of the things that I'm realizing about the compromise factor is if you feel like at any given point in time in a relationship that what it is that you're giving up deserves to be paid for by the other person, it's not going to work. So if you feel like, well, Nika, I gave up my youth for you, the least you could do is bop, 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 bop. If that's how you see it, the relationship is never going to work because that person will always be paying you back for you compromising yourself. See, because you didn't make a compromise on behalf of the relationship. A compromise on behalf of the relationship is something that you can give up because what you're going to gain from the relationship will far outweigh what you're giving up. And what you're giving up is not something that you can never get back. So I don't know. I feel like if I could give you guys any advice on how to prepare for a relationship, I would first and foremost say to you that if any of the preparation that you're doing exists outside of yourself, then you're already going in the wrong direction. I think the majority of the preparation that I realized was most useful and has been most useful to me being in this relationship is all the work that I did that was internal, not all of the external stuff, not me going to the